Hello guys, me again. Thinking out loud and again doing my own investigation when it comes to many things that we in our society and in the Western world have to deal with, tolerate, etc. Today, right now with this video, I'm not going to enter too much into workplace. I'm going to touch it a little bit, but it's more of a universal issue that also gets overlooked at the workplace. I put the spider here. I couldn't come up with any other idea just to look at. But you can also say that sometimes we lie to each other and we create this. Let's use this example since I have a spider there. We create this web of propaganda. We create a web of artificial victimhood, artificial problems, etc. One thing that I've always noticed through the years is, again, when it comes to our gay friends, again, I have no hatred in particular to this community, but they should also watch out for their own behavior, because I think most of the hatred directed towards them, in my opinion, is self-inflicted. And let me explain why. I remember many years ago when I worked at the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida. And I mentioned this before, but I'm gonna emphasize it again because these are things that are almost never talked about ever. So this video might even be banned or taken down by YouTube. The free expression platform. And I remember McGinnis. Let me mention him by name. I'm not going to mention his full name, but I remember McGinnis was getting mad one night because one of the decorators, which the decorators were all gay. Let me make that clear. The decorators for the Breakers, at least that particular group, they were all gay. And there was one that kept flirting with McGinnis, and he did not like that. And McGinnis would make it clear to the guy. But the guy, like always, they would come and go. They had, I think, in one of the big rooms, not one of the big rooms, in one of the north rooms, that's what they call them. In one of the north rooms, they had a station where they have all the decorations. So they would come and go past our office. They would go to the Venetian ballroom and back to the north rooms, bringing, taking, bringing and taking. Whatever needed to be, moved around. But every time they passed by our office, this gay guy would look in and wink at McGinnis. And McGinnis, would make it clear, and then he would even tell me, I'm going to punch that guy. And I would tell him, yeah, just calm down, ignore him. And I'm like, no, but he, that's disrespectful. I don't like that. That's disgusting, Which McGinnis was right. McGinnis was right. You don't do that. Again, if it was a guy towards a girl, all hell breaks loose. Everybody is like, oh yeah, he's a perv. But when they do it, apparently they have the license to insist in that behavior. So again, my message to you guys, to you gay people, respect so you get respected back. Respect so you don't get hurt, because some people will hurt you. McGinnis was going to punch him. And I just calmed him down. If I hated them people, I would have said, man, just punch him. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe in violence towards anybody for any reason, really. But, the guy just insisted. He kept, every time he passed by, he would blow a kiss, wink, etc. Which, again, it's inappropriate. Again, it just came to mind Veronica's winks on me, but let me not go there. So again, guys, from this community, don't get hurt. That's why, again, I think that a lot of your problems of hatred towards you or so-called phobia is really self-inflicted, because you're not supposed to do that. If a guy does it to a girl, like I just said, Oh, yeah, that's known to be wrong. But when somebody from your community does it, when a gay person does it, I don't know. I don't know what to conclude. Apparently, it's okay. Apparently, I remember one time when I was working at in Boca Raton in Bloomingdale's. There was like five guys. I counted once, 4 or 5 guys there that were also gay. Again, very disrespectful. Not all of them, but the majority have that tendency. There was one guy that every time I went by him, I don't recall his name. He was a black guy. He was actually a very good-looking black guy. He could have caught. He could have had any woman, because again, he was a very attractive black guy. Again, I'm a man. I'm saying it with confidence. I'm not gay. I'm not attracted to it. But I can also admit he was a very handsome black dude. But every time I walked by, he was slurp. And obviously that's disgusting. To me, I would just smile, to be honest, because I don't care about these things. To me that's who they are. But not all men will react the same way. I did not react to punch him. I did not get insulted. I was disgusted by it, yeah, no doubt. But hey, if that's their nature, that's their nature. Most guys don't care. Most guys are not like most women, easily triggered, oh my God, he did this to me, or he did, again, pathetic. But we're different. We're different. And I know I'm probably insulting women by saying these things. I don't care. Let's call the sky blue because it is. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's be real, And I know that, the few followers that I have, if you're a woman, most of you are gonna, again, unfollow me because a lot of women have a hard time accepting truth and facts. And that's okay, you can go, because I don't want hypocrites around me. I like people that love the truth. But again, that guy would do that to me every time, I made no big deal out of it. The thing is, again, if it was some other guy, that other guy might punch you. Not because he hates you, not because he hates your community, not because he has any type of phobia, but because he just doesn't like that, period. If a straight man, for example, offended another straight man, that too can lead to violence, which again, I do not support. So again, don't think that because you're gay, this straight man, that when he gets offended, he gets aggressive. That doesn't mean it's phobia against you. That means, you insulted that person. You offended that person. And that's the reality. So again, like I mentioned at the beginning, I know we create artificial problems and start calling them phobia, and people hate us because we're gay. No, it's not what you do in the privacy of your home that can get you punched. It's your disrespect towards men that I've seen many times. There's this other occasion. I remember this was earlier on. I was a teenager at the time. Back in the 80s, here in Puerto Rico, I remember my aunt, which right now she's asleep in death. She had four friends that were gay. She hung around them because she always thought they were funny. Well, there was one of them that was always very disrespectful towards me. The other three, the other three never really were like that towards me. But there was one that every time he saw me, he would say, "So when are we gonna use that?" And you guys know what I mean. Again, I would just smile it off, and that was all the time. I come from school. I came home from school. He was a little older, so guess what? I was 16 at the time, 17. For you to do that, and I think he was like in his early 20s, because he didn't look like a teenager. He like in his early 20s. For a gay person to harass a minor, we all know what that is. Again, you guys don't make yourselves look good when you do that. And any other guy, if it were my cousin Chewy, he would have punched that guy. I know he would. He would have punched that gay dude. Don't get into trouble and then blame it on phobia. Again, use your brain. People, use your brains. For everybody, not just the gay community. Everybody, use your brains. All this homophobia, most of it to me is garbage. To me, because I've seen things that they do. Things that they do, and they expect people to tolerate it. Here's another example. Another friend. This is a friend of mine, Alejandro. He worked for the school board in Florida, Palm Beach County, Florida. I mentioned this before, but I removed that video. Same thing with him. There was a gay guy in the what do you call it? The Department of Education, the school board, and also constantly flirting with him. HR did nothing. In that other video, I went into more detail. I don't care to do it on this one. HR did nothing. What did he do? He threatened him. My friend Alejandro threatened him to do the worst thing you could do to a human being, which is remove them from the face of the earth. Of course, he did it in private. From that point on, that gay guy stopped. You see? So again, and he told me this. So again, HR did nothing in that case in the school board. They did nothing like they do here in Puerto Rico and U.S. District Court of Puerto Rico and probation. They do nothing. But then if somebody snaps, guess what? The innocent party that snapped is now the villain because HR did nothing. So again, when it comes to Alejandro, he snapped. He did not hurt the guy, but he did. He told me, I grabbed him by the neck, almost lifting him up from the floor in one of the supply rooms and threatened his life. He told me that's the only way I can get him to stop. He was embarrassing me in front of other people. Even some of the other guys were saying, hey, you got a new girlfriend, type scenario. So again, guys, from the rainbow community, stop creating yourselves into victims when you are causing a lot of what happens to you. Again, I don't believe in violence of any type. I don't believe in war. But again, that's the reality. That's the sad reality that I've seen through the years. But let me go even further back. Again, a video I already deleted, but let me touch it again. When I was a child, I was born in 71, and this was back in 1980. Maybe 81. But I remember I had a gay neighbor. What a coincidence. Again, what a huge coincidence. This guy's name was Lewis. And he liked to touch boys. He liked to touch little boys. I know he was over 8. I know he was an adult because the year before his 18th birthday was celebrated. The neighborhood was aware of it. They partied, etc. So he was 19, maybe 20. Depending on the month. But again, he was an adult. I was 9, 10. And he liked touching us inappropriately. Now, I could use that to hate this community, but I don't. All I did was always push him away. Every time he tried to touch me, I pushed him away. Because he was very fragile. He was a very fragile gay dude. And he was gay. He was not the other thing. He was gay. I know. He was in love with my father at the time. He loved men. He was very feminine. He was not masculine at all. So the pedo belongs to more like masculine men versus a person that's gay. So once again, this is the second time I saw in my own experience with my own eyes, my own ears, how somebody from that rainbow community has a tendency towards children, which is very wrong and very disgusting. Again, I could use that to hate them, but I don't. I just thought he was weird and different. So once again, stop assaulting men, straight men, okay? Because that is a form of violence towards men. And you guys tend to be very aggressive when it comes to that. You guys tend to impose yourself, just like some women do. There are women that are very aggressive when they want a guy to bed them, to take them to the hotel or whatever. But again, stop being, stop aggressively assaulting men sexually, so they won't have to react and potentially hurt you, and then you're the victim. Okay? Stop that. And this is the big lie. Again, this is the big lie that I've seen through the years. Horrendous. And then, like I mentioned before, there was a parade this year. The gay parade on, was it June? That a group of the rainbow group were saying, we're coming for your children. Look it up on YouTube. You will find it. And they were chanting it. In that parade, we're coming for your children. What does that sound like to you? It sounds like pedophilia to me. Again, you guys don't make yourselves look good. You guys do not make yourselves look good. You guys do things that are very bad. You guys say things that are very bad. HR and occasions don't do anything about it. And then you're the victim because you're the protected class. You know? No, you can't do that. You can't make believe victim while you're causing your own victimhood in many cases. In my experience, in most cases. And again, I invite all guys out there, or straight men, don't hurt them, don't hit them. I invite all straight men and people to just ignore them when they behave that way. That's what I've had to do all my life. But again, don't play victim when you guys are constantly looking for somebody to hurt you. Even Lewis at U.S. Probation, Lewis T. Let's just say that because there's another Lewis there. I don't know, maybe Lewis is a very common name, so I don't know if there might be a new Lewis there, a third Lewis, after a year of me not being there. But Lewis T, he's a supervisor of support up in probation. Again, same thing. Don't think I hate you or hate your class just because you criticize God and the Bible and religion. Don't. Just like Yelitsa, same thing. I don't hate you guys. Because the Bible does not teach necessarily to hate people. We do hate behavior. We do hate bad behavior, but not necessarily the person. The person should change that behavior. And if you want respect, you should you should show respect as well. But of course, like I mentioned in other videos, HR does nothing there because they're scared. Again, when you work in fear, that's not much of a democracy. That's not much of a healthy work environment. When certain groups have privileges that others don't, when others can get away with with bad behavior and others don't, etc. Again, I'm sorry to say it, rainbow community, but you guys tend to be victims of your own bad behavior, like many other peoples in the world, not just you, like many other peoples in the world that have bad behavior. And guess what? You're gonna go to jail. And if it's a cultural tendency, for example, whether blacks have a certain tendency or whites have a certain tendency or Latinos, I'm Latino, and I admit we Latinos, we have cartels in Latin America. Hey, if I get shot because I'm involved in something, I can't blame victimhood. No, what the heck am I? It's my behavior. It's the behavior of Latinos in that case. Of course, I don't do drugs. I'm just using an example. But the point is that sometimes we cry victim, and this applies to many groups. But we ourselves are creating that victimhood. We ourselves are doing that, and I've seen it again with my own eyes and my own ears. I don't need to believe somebody else. But if somebody else did tell me, I'll believe it because I've seen it. So again, stop criticizing God. Stop criticizing the Bible. Stop criticizing religion. If you do not want people to dislike you for your behavior, not for your gender or your orientation or your belief system, but because of your behavior. Stop chanting in your gay parade, "We're coming for your children," because that's disgusting. That's pedophilia. Stop doing that. And tell your buddies in that group to stop doing it. You might say, "Well, I don't do that." Well, tell your friends not to do that too, because it makes you all look bad. Stop flirting with men. Again, stop slurping, stop winking, stop blowing kisses. And when somebody tells you to stop, stop. Don't insist and then get hurt. And then you're the victim. Again, stop it. Apparently nobody holds you guys accountable for your bad behavior. And that Lewis from the past, from when I was a child, I don't know if he's still alive. He's probably dead because back then AIDS destroyed that community, which again, don't be so promiscuous. If you're going to do that, to me, it's inappropriate. It's, in God's eyes, it's inappropriate, but that's none of my business. But if you're going to do it, be clean, be more, air quotes, moral when it comes to, I don't know, decency, for lack of a better word. So again, I have no hatred against you guys, but I don't like the bad behavior that has gotten you in trouble over and over and over again, and then the media flies in the direction that, oh, they're victims. It's homophobia, or it's misogyny when it comes to women, or any other thing, when it comes to any other group like anti-Semitism or Islamophobia or whatever. The point is, let's not tangle ourselves in these webs of lies that nobody holds you guys accountable for. Again, webs of lies that have been propagated through the decades, but it's technically you not respecting others, straightness or manhood or sexual orientation, not respecting other people's religion, etc. Stop your bad behavior and you won't get hurt, and you won't need to. That word should not even exist. Homophobia should not even exist, because it's really your behavior. For the most part, it's really your behavior. So again, stop. And Louis T, you too, stop. Because, you're a federal employee. You supervise people that are Catholic and Protestant, and you shouldn't be in that position if you can't respect their religion. And yet they're supposed to respect you. In that sense, you're a disgusting human being. I mean, honestly. And you're one of the primary investigators for probation, yet nobody investigates this of you. Nobody's investigating you with your comments. Again, toxic workplace, toxic people, and who's watching the watchers. Till next time.